This is going to be a really short video, but I think a really important one because we're starting to get to the point now where you've got a decent amount of knowledge about how HTML and CSS works, and you might find things online or you look at websites and you think, oh, I want to make something that looks like that. So I want you to start getting used to searching online and trying to find some solutions for yourself and trying to find some help about how to do that. So what I've added to this navigation bar up here is a little border, a little shadow underneath. It's kind of hard to see without too much content underneath it, but you'll see it as we build the website up a little bit more obviously. And this is a material design style shadow. Now I happen to know that this property is called box shadow, so I've done a few Google searches, but even if you didn't, if you just searched for material design shadow effect or anything along those lines, you'd come up with lots of cool ideas and websites that would help you do this. So if I go to box shadow, Google search, you see there's lots of results here, and a lot of them they take us to W3 Schools, and this is one of many really useful websites, and they have reference about all of the different CSS properties, all of the different HTML tags we can use, different animations, all sorts of things, whatever you can think of. They have a reference page for it. So it'll give you some examples. If you click on try it yourself, it'll give you some code and the sample output, and you can tinker with that, click run and so on and play around with it. You can have a good look through. It has all of the different values you can use, browser support when you're getting into cross-browser compatibility, and it explains all of the properties and exactly what they do. So you can have a look through these kinds of pages and get a really good understanding of how these different properties work. They have another page here which has even more information about how these box shadows work. You can see this first one here is a very good example of Google Material Design style shadow, and you can also put these shadows on text using the text shadow, although that's hard to make look good. It often looks pretty tacky if you try and do that. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see this is a really heavy black shadow. It's a little bit of an old school design. Nowadays you tend to have more of a blurred element to your shadow to create a more realistic effect, and that's what we see here with these kind of card style interfaces that you see so often on Android and Google applications. So again, you can explore this, you can play around with the try it examples that they have and see what you can come up with. Now the next search I did was for box shadow material design. Again, lots and lots of different options here. One of these links actually is to Google's material design page itself, and again there is a huge amount of information about how these shadows work within the material design language which they've come up with. So you can scroll down again, have a quick look through. This is especially for apps that they've designed to create these cards interfaces. They have lots of do's and don'ts to help you get a feel for the kind of design they're after. And then the other website I've got linked here is actually the first one that came up, and this is using CodePen. It's a good resource for writing HTML, CSS and JavaScript, of course those three building blocks of our websites, and running them all together inside one browser, so you can see the result of this code in the section down the bottom. And without going into too much detail about how all of this code works, you can see the different effects here, different types of shadows, and more pronounced shadows as we go. And this one here has a hover effect, so when you hover your mouse over it, just like we've done with our links, it increases the amount of shadow. So what I did is I had a look through these ones and decided which type of shadow I liked the best. And I decided to go with card 3, I think it was, this one here. And that's this example here. All I had to do was copy that line of code, which is the box shadow. It defines how far it goes, the type of blur and the different types of colors you're using. And I pasted that in here underneath my header. Okay, because I want to apply that box shadow to the bottom of my header to create that effect that we see back here on our navigation bar. So I just wanted to take a video to show you how you can start researching online, point you in the direction of W3 Schools, really useful resource. There's heaps of code examples online that you can essentially just paste into your work to create some of these effects, but it's really important you do understand how they're working. So have a play around with that, see if you can get a box shadow in that you like there, and we'll look at building in the image in the next video.